So this is a video. It's regarding, well, you could call it really what you like, but I'm just going to explain um something that I experienced anyway regarding a film. It's a film I've had for many years. I've been wanting it for well, I've been aware of this film. It's Convoy, the truck film with Chris Christopherson in it. I love the truck films, and I really like the film. I remember watching it in the 80s, and I was craving for this film for years. Eventually, I found it on a VHS in 1995, and I've had the film ever since. I've had it on DVD as well, and I've watched it on live stream and all that stuff. But I've been very much aware of the film, and I know it well, very well, and I know that it was made. At the end, it comes up with the date, and it came up 1978. That was always 1978, always. And just earlier on this year, I think, it's a bit hazy actually, but I'll come to that later. But it was certainly not that long ago, within the last year anyway, maybe earlier this year, I would say, that I discovered that the film was made in 1976. It came up at the end, 1976. Now that's on everywhere. Prior to that, it was always 78. Then it had the 1976 date on the end. It was never 1976. So therefore, I addressed it at the time I discovered that. I was amazed by it. I logged it in on my files somewhere, and I made note of it. I mentioned it to people because if you're aware of the online phenomenon, well, there's a phenomena online, or as I might rephrase it, there's a phrase online called the Mandela effect. It's widely referred to. There's a phenomenon that's referred to as the Mandela effect. That's widely or well known online. If you type in the Mandela effect, it will come up with results. It's widely recognised as something that's referred to as the Mandela effect. So I didn't name it the Mandela effect. There's a whole story as to why they named it that, and it's about the death of Nelson Mandela. A lot of people remember him dying in a different date to when he was supposed to have died, but I'm not really want to go into that. You could, if you're interested, you could look into that yourself. But they call it the Mandela effect. Now, I don't know if this is what's causing this, but what I will say on my videos, what I've experienced, and it resembles something like what's referred to online as the Mandela effect. So I don't know what's causing it, but I'm very much aware of. I've experienced many of them personally, on my own personal experience. There's lots online that I could relate to as well. And I look at the ones that are shown online, and I could like 100% relate to them. Like, for example, forget it. But I'm coming off the point. What I'm meaning anyway. Go back to the actual movie, the film. The Chris Christopherson film Convoy. It was made in 1978. So I was got at the end 1978. It changed to 1976, and I noticed this and pointed it out and referred to it. I used the reference term the Mandela effect. It was Mandela affected, because I remembered it being 1978, and there was no record. I obviously searched everywhere, and everywhere was saying it was 1976, which is really bizarre because it was always 1978. And there's even no. Yeah, so it changed to 1976 from 1978. So I was aware of that. And yesterday, was it the day before? No, it was yesterday. I was speaking to a friend about the Convoy, the film, and also the Mandela effect regarding it, which I was speaking to my friend saying that the date had changed from 1978 to 1976. And I took the phone out and I was going to show my friend I was going to Google up the movie Convoy, and it would say when it was made. So I'd done so. And then I realised that it changed back again. It changed back again to 1978. So that's how I'd always remembered it being. And then I've researched into it, looked online, and I saw on various different websites and that it's now 1978. There was no any record of it ever being 1976. However, I did record this when it had changed to 1976. Otherwise, why would I have brought it up in the first place? So I looked back on my records and I came across one of them, and it basically just mirrors what I'm saying now. It's saying that it had changed from 1978 to 1976, back to 1978 again. Now, if that were the case, why yesterday would I have not have remembered that? I wouldn't have forgotten something like that. I would have mentioned to my friend that it was a double Mandela effect. It had changed from 1978 to 1976, then changed back to 1978 again. I wouldn't have forgotten that. I wouldn't have forgotten that. So it's interesting that the record, or one of the files anyway, I look back on when I record lots of anomalies on my records, that it basically shows that I'd already recorded this, what I'm saying now. So, totally bizarre to me. I'm going to look further back for the original record when which is what I thought that would have been, which it probably was, but it may have changed now. History would have changed. That's the Mandela effect. So I'm going to look back further for an original file that would, I don't think I would have forgotten anyway, but I'll look further back on my files to see if the file's there, because I would have filed it, that would have mentioned me saying that it changed from 1978 to 1976. That would have been the first change, and I would have logged that in for sure. I definitely would have. Definitely. Anything odd like that, I've got my own files and I log them in every time, as soon as. So I'm going to look further back on it. But when I look back just on the file there, because the previous file, it said that I'd logged in what I'm doing now, that I've basically already known about this double Mandela effect, that it changed from 1978 to 1976 and back to 1978. But I couldn't have, because I wouldn't have forgotten that yesterday. There's no way I would have forgotten. I was only in a few months back, actually, the first one back in June this year. And there's no way I would have forgotten that. Not a chance. And I was speaking to my friend yesterday about the convoy, and I was saying to him within my mind that it changed from 78 to 1976. And I was going to wait to show him on Google that there it is. I'll Google it up and show you. And it came up 1978. So it changed back again. And there's no way I would have forgotten that I'd already logged this in. But apparently I checked back my records and it shows that I've already done this back in June. That I've already logged it in saying it changed from 1978 to 1976 and back again. I wouldn't have forgotten about me doing that. Very odd indeed. And I'm going to look further back in my files to see if there is an original, the first change, why I brought it up in the first place, why it would have went from 1978 to 1976. Because as soon as I'd realised that it changed, I would have checked everywhere else and realised that it changed there as well. And then I would have put it under what's referred to online as the Mandela effect. And I would have logged it in straight away. So the whole essence of me, the whole point that I actually brought it up in the first place means something's happened. And I asked someone else that I spoke to about it, and they remembered me talking about this issue. Not that this person isn't really a believer in it, the Mandela effect, but the person does remember me bringing this up. And I would have only brought it up if something had happened. So it changed from 1978 to 1976. And I would have brought it up back then. And this person remembers me bringing this up. And now it's changed back to 1978. So if it hadn't have changed, why would I have brought something up back then? And why would I have been speaking about this now? Why would there be an issue? There's obviously an issue because that's just the lights in the car. There's obviously an issue because, and speaking about it, I mean, why else would I be going on about it? It changed from 1978 to 1976. That's what initially brought my attention to it. And that's why I logged it in. And now it's changed back again. So if it was always 1978 and there wasn't a change, why am I talking about it? And why does this person remember me logging it in or mentioning it to them anyway? So that's my one of my personal Mandela effects. I don't know who else in the world has experienced that particular one with the end date for the Convoy movie that was made in 1978. Well, it's got the end date. When it comes up with the end credit, there's always the date, and it always said 1978. I've got even reasons to remember why it was 1978, which is what it is now. Apparently it's never changed. There's also a reference in the film as well. Chris Christopherson is driving his truck. I can't remember the name. I should remember, but the girl, the woman that's next to him in the truck, they were arguing, and Chris Christopherson, Robert Duck, that's what he's called. It's about CB handles and all that. Melissa, that's it. Melissa, the girl, they were arguing, and Chris Christopherson says to her that you're looking at a man that's about to turn the best side of 40. And Chris Christopherson was born in 1936, and in 1976 he would have been 40, or about to turn 40. That would have been the year he would have turned 40. So in the actual film, he said, "You're looking at a man that's about to turn the best side of 40." He was saying that to Melissa that was sitting in, well, his right, because remember the USA, the trucks, the driving the left-hand side, so she would have been there. And remember the Margaret. If you know the film, you'll know the bit I'm talking about. If you know the film Convoy, you'll know the bit. So why would he say that if it was made in 1978? It's almost like residue of what it was when it changed from 78 to 76. And that sort of residue, Mandela effect residue, that's another term they use online that's another referenced term that you use online. Now, I'm just saying these phrases, Mandela effect and all these Mandela effect residue, for a point of reference. Because me personally don't know what's going on, but I do know personally what I've experienced, and what it is resembles something like what they refer to online as the Mandela effect. I just call it that for reference because it gives you a reference to go on. So should you be interested in the Mandela effect, and just type in Mandela effect, it'll come up with a whole load of stuff. You'll get an idea as to what I'm talking about, because this probably would sound like double Dutch for somebody that doesn't understand anything about the phenomenon known online as the Mandela effect, widely known online. It seems as though it's quite well known. If you watch the episode of the X-Files, the latest ones, the 2019 ones, because it was off for ages, then it came back again. They even had an episode about the Mandela. It was certainly, about the Mandela effect. It was used in that episode of the X-Files. So it's well known in that respect. This X-Files, it's as a well-known sci-fi TV program, and it was on there. So, but personally, I don't know what it is, but I do know what I've experienced personally, and I know for a fact that I remember that being 1978, and it changed to 1976. Hence why I'm bringing it up. Now it's changed back to 1978 again. It was now, if you look on anywhere, it won't have shown any reference to it have ever changed. There's no record of it of ever changing to 1976. Just like what it was like when it did change. When I looked online, everything that I checked and researched about on the Convoy said it was 1976. There was no record of it being made, or the end date being 1978. But now, it's double whammy, it's back to what it was, and there's no record of it ever changing. So if that happened, why am I even talking about it? And why does the person remember me logging in back then? It's just earlier this year or within a year or something. It wasn't overly long ago anyway. Because certainly within the last 6.5 years now, the Mandela effect is, I could give you a list as long as this car. There's loads and loads of them. I'm not even going to go through them all, because there's many, many, many Mandela effects that I could safely 100% say that I experience them. Now, I know that there is a channel that I watch that I find very interesting. Goes into a lot of detail, a lot of depth, does a lot of research. The channel puts out to the viewers, me included, because I'm a viewer, and it states that the channel does a lot of research and a lot of in-depth experiments. It states a lot of interesting things, and I've even checked some of them out. And I've checked a few of them out, and I've seen the it collaborates with what the channel said. Some things, a lot of them do. There's one where I made a massive effort to go and verify something, and I got the results for that. And but yeah, I got results, and I checked. But this channel was very interesting. Goes into a lot of depth. I don't have I don't know what is causing it. There are lots and lots of theories online about it. As I say, that channel I watch goes into a lot of in depth into the subject and various other subjects. To go to that level, to go to the depths that that channel goes to, would require a lot of effort. Now, it's difficult to. You've got to work at your own rate, but anyway, besides that, I don't know what's causing it. I can't say what's causing it because I don't know, but I do know what I've experienced, and I am wanting to learn. But when I say I want to learn myself. I want to know firsthand. I want to experience what's causing it without getting, having to be told that this is. I wouldn't like to just have something say it's caused by such and such, etc., etc. And that's what's causing it. That would be interesting to listen to, but I'd want to fully on experience it myself, go out and actually find out for myself. But to do that requires a lot of commitment. You'd have to know how to do it. So if somebody then, or some means then, was able to say, well, there's the tools to do it. You know how to use the tools, then off you go. It's like learning to drive. You get taught how to drive, you learn it, because anything you're taught, you learn. You're actually learning yourself. But there's the tools, and then now you've got it, you could explore wherever you want, because that's a tool. So if you're given the tools to learn how to experience, to find out, and get to the an understanding of how it's happening, then I've got the tools. I've learned to use the tools. I could go out and explore these for answers as to why it's happening. Well, why and how and why. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring that in. There's another Mandela. I won't go on too much, but very quickly, there's a remarkable coincidence, a lot of remarkable coincidence and synchronicities going on. But it's too long to go on. And basically, in a nutshell, but the word thank you, I'll just come up with that one as well. That was always one word for me. Thank you was always spelt one word. I discovered this one myself. I don't know if anybody else has discovered it. It's maybe the wrong choice of words to say that I discovered it, because discovered it for myself would be a better way of putting it, because I'm not going to say that, I found this one, that's my copyright, I found it, I claim it, that's my Mandela effect. Well, no, I don't care about that. What I am interested in is that I found something that I experienced myself. I came across it by accident. The word thank you was always one word for me. It's now two words. It's got a space between the words thank and you. It was always referred to as one word, and it was always spelled as one word. Now, I've made loads of videos I've only started making videos April 2022 and a half year ago. And in that 2.5 years ago, I've made loads. And at the end of every video, I've put majority of the time it's thank you for watching, thanks for watching, thank you for watching. So I've used the word many times on the ends of my videos. I've used it for many years. I mean, in what? I've been around since 1975. That's 47 years, right? So I've used the word thank you, and I've written the word thank you many, many, many times. There's no way that I've got that wrong. There was always one word, always for me. I always remember it and always refer to it as one word. And it was only yesterday that I discovered that it was two words, because I was actually watching a video about cars. Well, yeah, I was about buses actually. But I've watched loads of videos about cars and buses. This one was actually about buses, because I'm into buses as well. And at the end of the video, it said thank you for watching. I'd thank you for watching. Now, it took me a moment. I'd done a double take. There was actually 4 words at the end of that. and it was thank you for watching. And I said, no, that's not. And I thought about it again. No, that's just dawned on me that it's now referred to as. So what I done is I went and checked everywhere else. Well, checked, done a bit. I done a searched around, and found that it's now 2 words. I even spoke to people about it, and they always remember it being 2 words and refer to it being as 2 words. It was always 1 word for me, always. And why would I be talking about this now if something hasn't changed? I've definitely came across that one. Now, I mean, as I say, I came across it. I'm not saying that, not boasting about it. Like, great, I found something. This is mine and blah blah blah. No, I couldn't care. I just want to share my experiences. That's what my channel's about. I'm not there to get as many views. I don't care how many people watch it. I just put my stuff on my video for my reasons. I put it on because I like putting it on and sharing it with you. I know that I've heard that. No, I know. No. People do what they want with their own channels. I do what I want with my channel, and just basically sharing my experiences. Because when I put it on my channel, I'm not making it up or lying or anything like that. I'm just telling you what I experience. I don't know if it's a Mandela effect or what. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on. I want to learn. I always have. I want to know why and what's causing it. Of course I do. There are lots of theories however, but theories, unless you search for it and do it yourself, it's only going to be a theory to you. It's going to be second-hand information. Well, yeah, I could go online, I could get loads of stuff and give you somebody else's, But as I say, I've had the tools to go and search as to what's causing it. I'd have to learn how to use the means to do it, to find out, to go and explore and adventure into these realms. But you learn it. We all learn at our own rate. So anyway, that was really it. I just had to get some of that off my head and onto my video. There's loads and 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 loads that I've experienced personally, not just ones that I could look online and say, oh yeah, that's one there, but ones I could actually remember being definitely for definite, and ones that I haven't noticed yet online that I've experienced. The stuff I experienced in the environment around me that's changed as well. I'm not saying that nobody else has noticed it, I'm just saying that I've noticed it. So I came across it myself. And there's stuff online that I could go to online and look and say, yeah, I could relate to quite a lot of that. Some of the well-known Mandela effects, I couldn't tell either way. I wouldn't know either way, and they're well known. If you type Mandela effect, we'll come up with a big list, and a lot of them I couldn't relate to either way, because a lot of the cartoons and programs that they're on about never really took much interest in them anyway, so I wouldn't know one from another. Like the Bernstein Bears or whatever the heck it's called, that seems to come out a lot, and I never watched that when I was a kid. I mean, if you could say to me, oh, you've never heard of them. Oh, yeah, I know fair to them. No, I haven't heard of them. Well, I've never watched it. I never watched a lot of that stuff. I watched my own stuff when I was a kid. I didn't watch a lot of the stuff that the majority may have watched. I didn't. I wasn't interested in it. I'd done my own thing, watched my own stuff. So all these main ones, I couldn't tell either way. And if you type Mandela effect, the big popular ones come up. I wouldn't know the difference either way. Like the Star Wars thing. I mean, I like the theme tune of Star Wars, but there's a good few in there. But I wouldn't know either way. And maybe a bit certain, but I'm not 100% certain about some of the ones in there. But there's one be Luke or something. And I mean, I don't know because I never really kept up with it. But I can assure you, there's a lot of programs like Still Game, the BBC Scottish comedy show called Still Game. Greg Forkian. I can't remember off the top of my names, but it's Jack and Victor anyway. They're the characters that are in it. Then you've got Bobby, the barman, David, Winston, Iser, Tam. It's set in Glasgow. Craig Lang. Hang on a minute. Yeah, I was just looking at the time there. I'm going to have to just stop. But yeah, there's one in there. There's another one of these Mandela effects that's changed to and from. There's one where Winston says on the episode of Cairds, Jack asks Winston to be Tam. And Tam says, I'll bet 3p. Now, that had changed to 1p. Winston says 1p. And then it changed. And then when that happened, I noticed that it changed. I said, Winston always said 3p. Always said 3p. Always. And I noticed that. And I brought it up. I told everybody, I checked multiple, I've got the box set, I checked other episodes on different devices, on different, I checked it over a variety, different episodes. But I've got the box set as a physical DVD, and it's never left my house. And it changed on there. Winston said, when Jack asked Winston to be Tam, that was the heist episode. It was an episode called Cairds. Still Game fans will know this episode. It's the one called Cairds, where Jack asks Winston to be Tam, to act like what he would bet. And Winston says, 3p, I'll bet 3p. That's what it was, always 3p. And then when it changed, Mandela effect, it changed to 1p. And then when that happened, I noticed it. And I started going on about it, like I do when I notice these things. And I made a note of it, which I'm going to have to look back on. However, it changed back to, I'm getting tired now, back to 3p. So it changed from 3p to 1p, then it changed back again to 3p. So when it changed back to 3p, I remember bringing it up that it changed to 1p. Why would I bring up 1p? Why would it? If it had never been 1p before, why would I have said 1p? Why would I be making an issue of it? It changed from 3p to 1p. Then I made an issue of it because it had changed. I checked everywhere, searched everywhere, can't find anywhere that it says 3p. I logged it in as a Mandela effect. I went on about it, saying there's another one. And people were like, oh, here's another one. Because I noticed it. And then it changed back again to 3p. So why would I be talking about this if it hadn't? Why would I be on about 3p and 1p if it hadn't changed? It definitely changed. It changed from 3p to 1p back to 3p again. And the DVDs I've got haven't left my house. They haven't been altered, and it changed on that as well. It changed everywhere. Like the history had changed, and it changed back again. Well, it's like that with the Convoy film as well. So, I could go on for ages, and it's a fascinating subject. I find it fascinating. I really deeply do. Really am interested. Really fascinated. There's loads and loads of stuff, that are out there that's mind-bogglingly fascinating. 2016 was a big changeover for me. Before that, I was always interested in, the sci-fi, supernatural and all that. But that does not make me biased. No, it doesn't. I don't just say everything's a Mandela effect and all the rest of it. No, definitely not. Definitely not. 2016 was a big changeover because I don't know what happened. There's something that year, it was spring 2016. I came across something online, fair enough. It was online. It was something that made us aware of something. It was a very interesting, but it's well known now. I'm not going to mention it, because it's controversial. So I'm not going to. But, yeah, and that, what kind of oh, God, it's amazing. Jeez, this is incredible. What's going on, because it's been openly talked about. But when I think of it more, I've got my own thoughts about it now. 6 years on, and I look at 6.5 years on, and I'm looking at it a different way now. It's like, I've got to ask myself, and it's blooming obvious if such things were talked about like that, right? Using the system that it's talked about, which is obviously the platforms, the YouTube, the internet. You can't talk on the internet about stuff like that and expect to get away with it. You can't, unless it rattled on long enough. Right, see you later. Bye.